Have you woke up tired even after sleeping all night? Do you know that feeling of dragging your body around the house as if a marathon had run while I slept? Yeah, I've been through this too, and I can guarantee you something. The culprit can be right there, in your belly. It looks strange, right? But stay with me that you will understand everything right. Let me tell you a very quick story. There is a girl named Anna. She is 32 years. Works all day on the computer and lived complaining that she was always tired. She slept well, was not awake until late, but still seemed that she carried a bag of stones on her back. He went to the doctor, did tests, all normal, until a smart doctor asked her about her belly, if she felt swelling, if she went to the bathroom, right, these things. Anna said yes, that she always felt stuffed, that she had gases, who sometimes had a stomach pain. And that's when the doctor said a word that changed everything: intestinal inflammation. Now you may be thinking, but what does the gut have to do with tiredness? Everything, my friend, everything. The gut is not just a pipe that leads to food away. It is like a giant factory that produces important things for the body to work. Do you know those vitamins that everyone says are important? Many of them are made there in the gut. What's more, the intestine talks straight to the brain, warning if it's okay or if there is a problem. When the intestine is inflamed, it is as if it sent alarm messages all the time to the whole body. And then you are out of power because your body is spending everything trying to put out this internal fire. But calm down, you don't have to panic. I will teach you 6 simple things anyone can do to calm this irritated gut and make you get plenty of energy again. And look, it's not complicated at all. None of those crazy diets that no one can follow. These are small changes that make a huge difference. The first thing you need to do seems so silly that you will even doubt. Chewing right. That's right, chewing the food. You might be thinking, obviously I chew, but how would I swallow? But wait there. Do you really chew or just bite and swallow? Because most people today eat running, looking at the phone, watching television, and barely realizes what they are doing. The food goes down almost whole and arrives in the gut that way. And then the poor gut has to do a damn job to break everything, and it tires, inflames him, makes him angry. When you chew well, about 20 or 30 times every fork, 2 amazing things happen. First, saliva begins to break the food still in the mouth. Saliva has special substances that begin digestion right there, facilitating the rest of the process. Second, you give time to the stomach and the gut prepare, because the chewing sends signs to them that the food is coming. It's like warning someone that you are going to her house, you know. The person can get everything right to welcome you well, but if you arrive by surprise, you turn that mess. With the gut is the same thing. There's a guy named Roberto that I met. He ate so fast that he finished the plate before everyone at the table. He lived with a swollen belly, full of gases, and had reflux all the time. When he started chewing properly, at first it was difficult because he was used to eating running, but after 2 weeks, he already realized the difference. The belly disinfilled, the reflux disappeared, and he said he felt lighter. Imagine, just chew. It sounds magical, but it's just the body working the way it should work. Now the second thing will surprise you even more. You need to put color on the plate. No, I'm not talking about artificial dye or any of that. I'm talking about real food, colorful. Do you know when you look at a plate and only have brown and white food, white rice, brown meat, white potatoes? This dish is missing something very important: the colors of the plants. Each fruit color, vegetables, have a different type of vitamin and substance that helps disinflame the gut. Tomato red has something called lycopene that is like a firefighter for inflammation. Carrot orange has beta-carotene that protects the intestine cells. Betraba eggplant purple has anthocyanins, who are warriors against inflammation. The green of the leaves has chlorophyll and a lot of other good things. When you put all these colors on your plate, it's like setting up a team of superheroes to take care of your gut. But you don't have to become a vegetarian or anything drastic. Just include. Take your normal plate and add a colorful salad. Put some slices of tomatoes, a little purple lettuce, some slices of grated carrots. In the snack, instead of eating only the bread, eats a fruit junta. It is doing so, little by little. The intestine realizes that it is receiving reinforcements and calms down, stops being angry. There is a curious thing that a lot of people do not know. The intestine has more than 100 trillions of bacteria living inside. It sounds disgusting, but in fact these bacteria are friends. They are necessary. They help digest food, produce vitamins, protect against bad bacteria. But these good bacteria need to eat too, and do you know what they eat? The fibers of fruits, vegetables, and vegetables. When you don't eat these colorful things, good bacteria get hungry, weaken, and then the bad bacteria take the opportunity to take care. And when this happens, the intestine is inflamed and you are out of energy. The third thing you need to do is drink water, but it's not any water or anyway. Everyone talks to drink water, you already know that. But I'll tell you a secret that no one tells you. Water has to enter the right time. If you drink water during the meal, especially a lot of water, you are diluting the digestive juices of the stomach and the intestine. It is like you try to wash a very dirty pan with very diluted soap. It will not clean it right. Digestive juices need to be focused to do their work. So the rule is simple. Drink water before meals, at least 20 minutes before, or then at least an hour later. During the food, if you need to wet your mouth, only take a few sols. But most of the day water you drink at intervals, away from meals. And he drinks slowly, not all at once. Because when you drink half a liter of water at once, the body cannot absorb everything. A part goes straight to the pee, and you have not taken advantage of anything. The right amount varies from person to person, but a good account is about 30 milliliters of water for each kilo of their weight. If you weigh 60 pounds, for example, you should drink about 1,800 milliliters a day, which is almost 2 liters. But you don't have to get neurotic measuring, it's just for an idea. The body usually warns when you need water, you feel thirsty. The problem is that a lot of people confuse thirst with hunger and ends up eating when in fact should be drinking water. And look, the water helps the gut in a very important way. She makes the softer stools easier to leave. When you drink little water, the stools get hard, dry, and the intestine has to make a lot of strength to push. This hurts the bowel wall, causes inflammation, causes even hemorrhoids. There are people who live taking laxative because they can't go to the bathroom, but the problem is often just lack of water. There was a lady I met, Donna Maria. She was 70 years old and lived complaining about constipation. I took medicine, did everything. Then a doctor asked how much water she drank a day. She said almost nothing, just a glass in the morning and another at night. The doctor had her increased to 6 glasses a day, scattered throughout the day. In a week, her problem has improved so much that she didn't even believe it. She said she felt someone else who was more willing, that even her skin improved. All this just by drinking more water. Now let's go to the fourth thing. And this one is controversial because it messes with what people like to eat. You need to decrease sugar. You don't have to cut totally, relax, but you need to decrease a lot. Sugar is like a slow action poison for the gut. When you eat sugar, the bad bacteria of the intestine have a party. They love sugar, multiply quickly, and when it has a lot of bad bacteria, the intestine ignites. And it's not just the sugar of the sugar, it is the sugar hidden in things. That box juice that you find healthy, full of sugar. White French bread turns sugar quickly on the body. Do cookies, even those who say they are whole, full of sugar. The ready-made tomato sauce? Sugar. It's in everything. Companies put sugar in everything because sugar addicts makes you want to eat more, and then you buy more. But how to reduce sugar without suffering? First, you start paying attention to what you are eating. Take the packages, read the ingredients. If sugar appears among the first 3 ingredients, it is because it has a lot. Then you are gradually exchanging things. Instead of a box juice, it makes a natural juice or eats the whole fruit. Instead of stuffed cookie, eat a banana with oats. Instead of soda, lemon water. These are simple exchanges that make all the difference. And look, an interesting thing. When you decrease sugar, in the early days you miss it, it gets a little angry, wanting to eat sweet. This is normal, it's like abstinence because sugar really addicts. But after a week, the body gets used to it and then you realize you don't even feel so much will. And the best, when you eat something sweet after a while without eating, you find it sweet nauseating. It is the taste that returns to normal. There is a boy named John who was addicted to soda. I drank 2 liters a day every day. He was 30 and had already begun to have health problems, high blood pressure, liver fat. When he stopped with the soda in the first 3 days, it was horrible. He said he had a headache, was nervous, but then it passed. In a month, he had lost 5 pounds without doing anything else, just removing the soda. And his belly disinfilled, the skin improved, the energy came back. He said he regretted not doing it before. The 5th thing you need to do is move the body. No need to become athlete, no need to work out 2 hours a day, but you need to get out of the couch. When you stand still all day, the gut also gets lazy. Digestion is slow, the food is longer than it should in the gut, ferment, causes gases, inflammation, but when you move, the gut also moves better. Do you know that simple walk of 30 minutes? She wonders, the gut. When you walk, body movement helps the bowel movement. It is like a massage from within. The food goes by faster, does not ferment, and you avoid that feeling of stuffing. And that's not all. Exercise also helps control stress, and stress is one of the greatest enemies of the intestine. When you are stressed, the body produces hormones like cortisol, which is like an emergency signal. The body understands that it has a danger and then turns off functions that are not essential at that time, such as digestion. That's why a lot of people, when they are very stressed or get diarrhea or are unable to go to the bathroom, the intestine simply stops working right. And if this happens all the time, the intestine is chronically inflamed. Exercise helps download this cortisol, helps calm the body. It can be walking, it can be dance, it can be bike, it can be swimming, it can be anything you like and make you move. The important thing is not to stand still. Even if you work sitting all day, get up every hour, take a walk, stretch your legs. This already helps a lot. There is a study that has shown that people who walk at least 5 times a week have much less bowel problems than sedentary people. And the cool thing is that the benefits start to appear fast. In a few weeks, you already feel difference. The belly gets less swollen, you go to the bathroom more easily, feel more energy during the day. I met a man named Paulo. He was 50 years old and lived tired. I worked sitting, came home, and went straight to the couch watching television. His belly was huge, lived with gases, with heartburn. His wife insisted for him to start walking, even if it was just 15 minutes. At first he complained, said he was too tired to walk, but she insisted so much that he went. In the early days it was difficult. He was sweaty, panting, but it was taking it. It increased for 20 minutes, then 30. In 2 months, his belly had diminished. He was going to the bathroom every day at the same time, something that had not happened for years. And he said he felt with energy again, that even his mood had improved. And now we come to the 6th and last thing, which is perhaps the most forgotten of all. You need to sleep well. It may seem that sleep has nothing to do with the gut, but it has everything to do. During sleep, the body makes a general cleaning, fixes what is broken, organizes what is messy. With the gut is no different. It is during sleep that bowel wall cells are renewed, that inflammation decreases, that everything returns to balance. When you do not sleep enough, or when you sleep badly, the body cannot do that right cleaning. Intestine cells become old, tired, inflamed. What's more, lack of sleep increases stress, increases cortisol, and then you fall into that vicious circle I told you before. You get stressed, the intestine inflames, you lose energy, get even more stressed, sleep worse, and the gut inflates even more. The ideal amount of sleep varies from person to person, but most adults need 7 to 9 hours a night. And it's not just quantity, it's the quality too. It's no use staying at 8 hours in bed if you keep waking up all the time, if you move on your phone, if you sleep late and wake up early. Sleep needs to be deep, quiet, repairing. There are some things that help to sleep better. First, create a routine. Try to sleep and wake up more or less at the same time every day until the weekend. This teaches the body when it is bedtime. Second, leave the room dark, silent, fresh. The body sleeps better in the dark and freshness. Third, avoid screens at least an hour before bed. The blue light of the cell phone from computador on television deceives the brain, making him think it's still a day, and then it does not produce melatonin, which is the sleep hormone. And there is a very important thing about food and sleep. Do not eat too close to bedtime. If you eat and go lying down, the body has to digest lying down, and it doesn't work well. Digestion gets slow, reflux may appear, and you can't sleep properly. The ideal is to dinner at least 3 hours before going to bed. If you feel hungry before bed, eat something light, such as a fruit or a natural yogurt. There is a girl named Carla who had a lot of insomnia. She took hours to sleep, woke up several times at night, and in the morning she was exhausted. During the day she drank coffee after coffee to work, and at night she couldn't sleep again. Her gut was a mess. She had diarrhea one day and constipation on the other. When she sought help, the doctor said she needed to get sleep first. It looked strange, but she stifled. He started going to bed at the same time, turned off his cell phone an hour earlier, made a soothing tea. At first it was not easy, but gradually she was taking a sleep faster. In 3 weeks, she was already sleeping all night. And do you know what happened? Her gut regulated alone. She started going to the bathroom every morning. Her belly disinfilled. The energy came back. She said it was as if she had discovered the secret of life, and the secret was simply to sleep properly. Now maybe you're thinking, it's 6 things. It seems a lot. How am I going to do it all at the same time? And that's the secret. You don't have to do everything at once. In fact, it is even better not to do. If you try to change everything at once, you will be overwhelmed. You will give up in a few days. The best way is to start with one thing. Choose the one that looks easier for you, or that looks like it will make a difference, and starts with it. It spends 2 weeks doing just that until it becomes automatic, until you don't even have to think to do it. Then you add the second thing, 2 more weeks, then the third. And so it goes. In 3 months, you are already doing the 6 things without even realizing it, because they have become natural habits. Best of all, the results appear on the way. You don't have to wait for everything right to feel a difference. Already in the first week, you will realize that the belly is less swollen, that you are going to the better bathroom. In the second week, you will realize that you have more energy in the morning. In the third, which is sleeping better, and the more you do, the more motivated it gets, because you see it works. There is a very important thing that I need to tell you. These 6 things are not a fashion diet you do for a month, and then 2. They are lifestyle changes. These are things you should do forever, because they not only disinfect the gut, they improve their entire health. When you take care of the intestine, you are taking care of the whole body, because everything is connected. A healthy gut means more energy, more disposition, better humor, better immunity, less diseases. And do you know what is most amazing all this? It's just that you don't need any medicine. You don't need expensive supplement. You don't need anything bought. Everything you need is at your fingertips. Real food, water, movement, sleep. These are simple things that humanity has always done, but that modern life made us forget. We complicated something that should be natural. Think to me, our grandparents had no gym, they had no nutritionist, they didn't have a mobile app to count calories, but they had health, they had energy, they didn't live tired all the time. Why? Because they naturally did these things I taught you. They ate real food because there was no processed food. They chewed right because they had no television or cell phone to distract. They drank water because it had no soda. They moved because they had to walk. There was no car for everything. They slept early because there was no electric light illuminating everything. And their gut worked perfectly. We don't have to go back to the cave time, but we can learn from the past and bring these good things to our modern life. You can do this without suffering, without giving up everything you like. It's just a matter of balance. You can eat a candy from time to time as long as it is not every day. You can stay on mobile as long as it is not before bed. You can rest on the couch as long as it is not all day. It is the balance that brings health. And look, I know that at first it may seem difficult. Changing habits is always difficult because we are used to the old way of doing things. Even if that way is doing us bad, the brain likes what is familiar, what you already know, and resists what is new. But you are stronger, D. What do you think? You can. Millions of people have already achieved, and you will do it too. There is a trick that helps a lot when you are starting. Do not think of the ultimate goal, the result you want in 6 months. Think only today. Today you will chew the food well, just today. Tomorrow you think about tomorrow. When you divide the change into small pieces, one day at a time, it is much easier. And before you notice, it's been a month, 2 months, and you're already doing everything naturally. Another thing that helps a lot is to find someone to do this to you. It may be your husband, your wife, a friend, a family member. When you have someone doing it together, you support yourself, motivate yourself, help each other on difficult days. And you can even make it a fun thing, like a challenge. Who can drink more water today? Who can walk more this week? So it gets lighter, tastier. And if you slip, if you ever eat bullshit, if you jump the exercise, if you sleep late, don't give up. Everyone slipping sometimes is part of the process. The important thing is not to be perfect. It is to be consistent. It is doing right most of the time. If you do the right things 80% of time, the other 20% won't make so much difference. The body is clever. He knows how to deal with a slide from time to time. The problem is when the slip becomes routine. One thing I think is important, is that each body is different. Each person responds in a way. There are people who in a week already feel a huge difference. There are people who take a month. There are people who the biggest problem was sugar. When it takes the sugar, solves everything. There are people who the biggest problem was the lack of exercise. You will discover your body. You understand what works best for you. It is a process of self-knowledge as well. And you don't have to get neurotic, measuring everything, weighing everything, telling everything. This takes away the grace of life and becomes a prison. The goal here is to have health, to have energy, to live well, not to suffer. So it does the way it works for you, the way it fits your life, the way it makes you happy. If you like to walk in the morning, walk in the morning. If you prefer at night, at night. If you like salad, eat salad. If you don't like it, put the vegetables another way, cooked, baked, in soups. The important thing is the principles, not the exact way to do. There are people who ask me if you need to spend a lot of money to make these changes. The answer is no. In fact, you can even save money. Real food, rice like rice, beans, vegetables, seasonal fruits, is cheaper than processed food. Walking is free. Filtered tap water is free. Sleeping is free. Chew is free. You don't have to buy anything special. Nothing expensive, nothing miraculous. Just need willingness to change. And another important thing, you are not alone in it. Millions of people around the world are making these same changes. They are looking for a healthier life. There are communities, have groups. There are people sharing experiences, giving tips, supporting. If you need help, motivation, you think. The internet is full of good information from people who have gone through what you are going through and overcome. Now let me tell you a truth that no one likes to hear, but is important. If you don't do anything, if you keep the way you are, things won't improve on their own. That tiredness you feel every day, that swollen belly, those bowel problems, they will continue. And worse, they may even get worse over time. because the body gets tired, wearing out, and what today is just discomfort, tomorrow can become a more serious disease. But if you decide to act, if you decide to make these changes, you are taking control of your health. You are saying, I deserve to feel good, I deserve to have energy, I deserve to live with quality, and that no one can do for you. No doctor, no medicine, no surgery will do for you what you can do for yourself with these simple lifestyle changes. Think of your body like a car. If you do not put good fuel, if you do not change the oil, if you do not maintain, the car will break. But if you take care of it, the car lasts a lot, and many years working perfectly. With the body is the same thing. These 6 things I taught you are the maintenance of your body. They are the good fuel that you need to put every day for it to work well. And do you know what is coolest? When you start to feel better, when you have more energy, when you wake up arranged, it changes everything in your life. You have more patience with people, you work better, you enjoy the moments with your family, you feel happier. Because health is not just not being sick. Health is to have vitality, is being willing to do what you like, is to wake up all the days excited to live. There is a phrase that I like very much that says, health is not everything, but without health, everything is nothing. You can have money, you can succeed, you can have everything you always wanted, but if you don't have health to enjoy, what's the point? And the good news is that health is in your hands, in the choices you make every day, in every bite, every step, every time of sleep. So here is my challenge to you. It starts today. No tomorrow, not next week, not after the birthday, not after the parties. Today, choose one of the 6 things I taught you and do today. It may be the simplest, it may be the one you think will have less difficulty, only it starts, and tomorrow you do it again, and the day after tomorrow, and in a week you will see that it is easier, which has become a little more natural, and you will be proud of yourself because you had the courage to start, you had willpower to change. Remember Anna that I told you at the beginning, that girl who lived tired? She started doing just one thing, drink more water. It looked so simple, but it was the first step. Then she started chewing better, then added more colors to the plate. It was doing one thing at a time, and in 4 months she was doing the 6 things. And she told me she felt someone else, who didn't even remember what it was like to live tired all the time. She said she had recovered her life, and you can also recover yours. No matter how old you are, no matter how long you are already feeling bad, no matter how many times you have tried and gave up, today is a new day. Today is a new chance. Your gut is waiting for you, waiting to be cared for, to be misinflamma, continue to go back to work, right, and give you all the energy you deserve to have. And look, I need to tell you one more important thing. When you start taking care of the gut, when you make these 6 changes, something very interesting happens. You start to better understand your body. You begin to realize the signs it sends. Before you didn't even notice, but now you notice that when you eat, a lot of sugar gets a swollen belly. You realize that when you don't drink enough water, it gets a headache. You realize that when you sleep badly, gets annoyed. The body always sent these signs, but you were so used to feeling bad that you didn't even notice anymore. This is like when you live near a noisy street. At first the noise bothers you a lot, but over time you get used to it and you don't even hear anymore. But the noise is still there, harming your sleep, your rest, your quality of life. With the body is the same thing. You get used to living with that discomfort, with that tiredness, and you think it's normal. But it is not normal. It is normal to wake up well, to have energy during the day, to feel light and willing. When you recover this good feeling, when you really feel good again, you realize how bad you were before. And then you no longer want to go back to that state. You no longer want to eat those things that hurt you badly because you know how you will feel later. It is not willpower. It is not a sacrifice. It is simply that you prefer to feel good. And this is the biggest change of all, when taking care of you becomes a natural choice, not an effort. There is something about the gut that is fascinating and that not everyone knows. It produces most of the body's serotonin. Serotonin is that